Could you please tell me your name and the official name of your building or property on the City of Salmon Arm's Heritage Registry?
Terry and April Levasseur, and our house is the Reader 2 house.
And you're the owners?
Yes.
And how long have you been associated with the Heritage property?
We bought it almost exactly 3 years ago.
And what initially drew you to the property?
I have always loved historical homes. I've done architectural design for 30 years and probably designed thousands of new houses, but I always am drawn to the old homes, just the character and quality that they put into them, the design features that we just seem to overlook now, trim work and that kind of thing.
Excellent. Yeah, those are all really great things. Are you from Salmon Arm?
No, we moved here from Alberta, west of Red Deer.
Cool. Have you made any changes to the house?
Yes. When we bought it, Tara and I, when we moved out here, we thought we were going to live in our condo out in Sycamoose, but it was nice to vacation in, but too tight for us to live in, we realized. So we started looking around at acreages, and then I got thinking maybe it'd be nicer to be in town where there wasn't so much yard work. And so we looked around Sycamoose a little bit on the real estate program, and then I thought, well, I'll check Salmon Arm, and this house was on the front page of the realtor's website. And Tara had been out working on our other properties in Sycamoose, and he came in the door of the condo, and I was like, we have to go right now. and so I'd already called the realtor, and so we drove in, and when we pulled up to it, I just said, I'm in love. So.
What about it?
Oh, story and a half, always a really style I like. We built a new house out in Alberta, and it looked just about exactly like this, just because our first old house was a story and a half Cape Cod, and the big trees,
curb appeal.
Yeah,
it looks nice from the street. It just has.
Yeah. Yes,
but we didn't really change anything structural in it. We just mostly upgraded the interior.
Yeah. When we
like the rooms and the different
the layout's
old
really
doors
good.
And all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, the trim work. But Terry's a cabinet maker, and the trim work had kind of been repainted many times and that kind of thing. So we stripped and sanded it down as far as we could. It's still painted, and then Terry took a lot of it off so that it could be mitered properly, and then we took off some of the things that had been added that weren't true to the style. And this past winter, they had a stone fireplace in there, but it was just kind of stones that might have been actually physically thrown at the wall. We're not sure. And so Tara pulled those off and then did it more. I don't really know the proper term. To me, it's sort of like a mid-century modern design. So it's a stuccoed fireplace with a. Where did you get that piece of wood? Is super old too, like
or barnwood.
Yeah, like, and so
mantle.
it's all craggy, and it's on there. And a lady the other day came to pick something up at the house and saw the fireplace, and she was like, "That's the nicest fireplace I've ever seen." He did a really good job, and so we just tried to kind of bring it back and then upgrade it. It had been Mr. Reader's own home. And so, you know how it is, the shoemaker's kids don't have any shoes. And so I think, he had kind of probably not had enough time to do what he might have done. And so Tara put wainscoting around in the dining room to just kind of add character that would have been there, I think, had Mr. Reader had time to do it. And so we've done that in some of the bedrooms.
Yeah. Have you had to do any, just upkeep stuff, like roof, replacing windows type
That had been done. I forget the name of the city councilor that lived there, and he had redone the hardwood floors, new quite a few new windows and new roof and that kind of thing.
Anything else that you have been working on?
Tara finished the basement, like just we put carpeting down there and painted it and that kind of thing. Our grandkids just are getting a little bigger and need a place to hang out.
For sure. What words of wisdom would you like to share with people thinking about taking on a building like yours?
Tara definitely needs to cover this.
Yeah, probably budget twice what you think it'll cost. And if you're not handy at doing some of the work yourself, you know, consider that, because there can be a lot of stuff can be real time consuming compared to building a new house or even fixing up a more modern house.
And why is that?
Well, you're trying to kind of preserve some of the old stuff, and sometimes things are a little rickety, and you know, you got to work with a 100-year-old house, and things have settled and moved a bit,
and the trim work that suits that kind of house is more expensive, which is why they don't do it in a builder home. We tend to be analytical buyers, but this one was pure emotion. I just like fell in. I said to Terry, "You're going to have to be the brains of the operation here," because we weren't even inside yet, and I just wanted this house so badly, and I think Terry wanted to just make me happy. So I think he saw some of the things that were kind of like, So yeah, you definitely want to get an inspection, because you know, people sometimes do kind of shoddy things that over the years, you know, in 100 years, there's lots of room for.
Yeah, it's probably been renovated numerous times. I think it was a doctor's office at one time, and so yeah, you never know what all has gone on in there.
Is the kitchen modern?
Yes, but we are planning to renovate it so that it has more of a historical
character.
Like take out those new cabinets and put in older looking cabinets. Someday, Terry goes, really?
Are you gonna make them, or are you gonna just source?
I'm not. Probably source something. Yeah.
Cool.
You'll do the trim,
install them,
like
stuff,
all the, you know, you can't just buy the cornice molding that you need in order to give it the right look and that kind of thing. But yeah, I was going to tell you when we bought it, we didn't tell the kids, because we have 3 grown children and their spouses, and they were coming out to visit, and so we told the kids we're just going to meet you at a park for lunch, but it was we gave them the address of the house, and so 2 of the kids caught on what had happened, but our youngest son and his wife drove by the house a couple of times, and as they drove by it, Marty said to his wife, "If my mom could have any house in town, she would want this one."
Surprise.
Yeah.
That's funny. Do you see yourself staying there?
Yes.
Yeah.
As long as we can do the stairs, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, that was one thing we didn't think about. There's no bedroom on the main floor. But.
And if you had one word to describe your building, can you think of what it would be?
Dreamy, I guess. It's very dreamy for me, because it's just kind of like, I love that era. Like being here at the museum, I just want to stay here and be in this time. So yeah, I like pretending that I'm in the old days.
Excellent. Is there anything else you can think of that you'd like to add?
No, but we appreciate the interest that the town and yourselves have taken in these older houses.
We're so grateful that the town does that.
They add a lot of uniqueness to a town, and it's kind of nice to preserve some of that. Can't keep it all, but it's nice to keep some of the stuff.
Yeah, I think it is nice to think of like all the skill that actually went into building those.
Exactly, and the
prefabricated stuff.
Yeah. And we lose a lot of the beauty in a town when we do just tear these houses down and build box houses, which is hypocritical of me to say, and that's, you know, that's been my bread and butter these years. But yeah, just homes that have more character. They're worth preserving if you can. I find it sad. I like all sorts of design. Any design done well is appealing. A modern home done well is lovely. But some of the cities they do infill homes, and I find it sad in a historical area when they'll plaster a boxy, modern-looking glass structure between two old homes. I feel like we would do our cities a kindness if we would try to stick to the style of the neighborhood with new homes in old areas. But I know it's the most expensive way to build a house is with the old character and all the details. But yeah. But there's something to be said too for not just tearing something down and throwing all that stuff away and then, using all new product. It's worth keeping it if you can.
For sure.
Yeah, there's that beautiful brick structure downtown. It says bingo on it now.
The old municipal hall, I think. Yeah, it was a senior center after.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that one is. They're trying to figure out how they can do.
I think Mr. Reader built those 3 places downtown. I just was reading the plaques. Yeah, it would be neat to meet him.
Yeah. Well, I guess that concludes our interview. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll stop that.